What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and this is my Samsung Galaxy Note 8 review 2 weeks later. So I was actually fortunate enough to get hold of this on Unpacked Day. I've been using it since, and I think it's no surprise that I really do like this phone. I've already said before that the S8 and S8 Plus are some of my favorite devices of 2017, and this just continues on from that. We've still got all of the things that I like from the S8, such as the expandable memory, the metal frame with those beautiful curved Gorilla Glass 5 panels on the front and back, the IP68 water and dust resistance, and we've still got that beautiful Infinity Edge display, which is 6.3 inches this time, minimal bezels and Quad HD Plus resolution, Super AMOLED technology, which means this has great colors, deep blacks, and is definitely one of the best displays out there. Now, although it's not too much larger compared to the S8 Plus, it is a bit more squared off on the edges, and it does weigh a little bit more, so 22 grams more compared to the S8 Plus. So a little bit heavy in the hand, and I do think that the S8 Plus is a little bit more comfortable to hold overall. And because of the size of this device, and also because of the build, it is quite slippery in the hand, and you may drop it. And for that reason, I definitely recommend picking up a case. I'm currently using a case from our video sponsor, Tech21. Tech21 have just launched their new range of cases for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, which guarantee the most effective protection drop after drop. This is thanks to their impact absorbing material, Flex Shock, which protects from drops of up to 3 meters, and the fact that Tech21 drop test their cases 20 times to ensure durable, long-lasting protection. If you do want to pick up a case from Tech21, I'll be leaving a link to them in the description below. Now let's talk about the cameras. As far as I can tell, for the front-facing camera, it is pretty much the same or similar to the S8. So you've got 8 megapixels and f1.7 aperture with autofocus. Works great and is also really stable for video. And around the back, we have a dual camera setup. We've got two 12 megapixel cameras, both with optical image stabilization. Now again, as far as I can tell, the primary camera is pretty much the same as the S8. So it's definitely one of the best cameras out there right now. Takes great shots, great quality video, and you've also got manual control. But this time we also have a secondary camera, which is going to give you 2 times optical zoom, and that has an f2.4 aperture. And you've also got the live focus feature, which is going to blur the background of your shots and give you some really good looking images. What's cool about the Note 8 is that you can adjust the blur after the fact, and it's also going to take a wide angle shot as well as the one from the telephoto lens. So that's quite nice. You'll always have those two options. Now I know a lot of you guys want to see a camera comparison SuperSaf style between the Note 8 and the LG V30. This looks like the main camera showdown this year. And as soon as I've got the V30, I will be doing that. So make sure you have subscribed to see that first. Now, another thing that a lot of you guys have been asking about is the battery life. Personally, I don't like commenting about battery life this early on because in my experience, I've never come across a device that maintains the same level of battery life 3 months later down the line as it does when you've got it fresh. They all do deteriorate over time. But having said that, I know you guys are not going to forgive me if I don't mention the screen on time. So on my Note 8, I've been getting roughly about 5 hours of on-screen time, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, which I think is pretty good. And in comparison to the S8 Plus, which has a slightly larger battery, I would say both are quite similar in my experience. You have to remember that the S8 Plus only has a 200 mAh battery larger compared to the Note 8, and in the bigger scheme of things, that is not so much of a big difference. I don't think you're going to notice too much of a difference, and I do think that the Note 8 right now has good battery life. And remember, you've always got fast charging as well as fast wireless charging, so you can get a quick top up if needed. Now, what about the performance? Well, we've still got very similar internals to the S8, so we've got the Snapdragon 835 or the Exynos 8895, some of the latest and greatest processors out there. But we've got 6 GB of RAM on the Note 8 here, and it's been working well for me so far. I've not really had any issues. We've got Android version 7.1.1 with the Samsung skin on top. Now, what I do like about the Samsung skin is some of the additional features. The one feature that is my favorite is App Pair, and that's going to allow you to launch 2 apps in multi-window with just one touch. And I really do like this feature. I believe before, the reason why I never used to use multi-window so much was because you'd have to go through so many steps to actually set it up. But with this, it makes it so much easier. And with that 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio, having multi-window on your display is definitely very useful. Another feature that I really like on the Note 8 is dual messenger. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be rolled out to some other devices, But what this basically means is you can have multiple accounts on the device itself. So you can have 2 WhatsApp accounts running on the same device, 2 Snapchat accounts and things like that. Once again, I think this is a really useful feature and it's credit to the multitasking abilities of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Now let's talk about the fingerprint scanner. Yes, it's still at the back. Yes, it's still a little bit inconvenient. And I wish that Samsung had put it somewhere around here, which would make it a lot more accessible, especially because of the larger size of the device. You do need to kind of reach over unless you're using the device with 2 hands. It works really fast and well. It's just a little bit inconvenient. I can't wait until when we have fingerprint scanners within the display. Now, this is obviously at the back because we have this Infinity Edge display. So it's a bit of a compromise you do have to make. You do have the Iris scanner, which still works really great. So there is that option available. With the speaker, it's still a single bottom facing speaker, so it sounds good, but it's never going to sound as good as dual stereo speakers. You do, however, get the AKG earphones out of the box, so that is definitely an advantage, and those do sound pretty good. Now, let's talk about this thing, the S Pen. In my opinion, you're either going to use it or you're not going to use it. I think personally it's a great feature. A lot of you guys may not know this, but I actually use a graphics tablet for my PC. It just allows me so much more precision when I'm editing images and things. And it's nice to have that on the smartphone. It's probably not something that you're going to be using continuously, but when you do need it, it's really useful. Say for instance, you need to sign a document. So if you're somebody who's out and about a lot and you need to sign off contracts and things, you can do that with this S Pen. It gives you some really cool precision. And then we've also got some of the features which I do like, such as off-screen memo. So you can just jot down a quick note and that is going to stay there for you. So that's really cool. And if you hover over certain pieces of text, it's going to translate those for you. It's going to translate currency as well. So I really do like this, but as I said, you're either going to use it or you might not. Now with Bixby, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about it. I have been using it and I'm putting my notes together and I will be doing a dedicated Bixby video. I've actually had some good experiences with it. I like quick commands, which allows you to assign multiple actions to just a phrase. So you could just hold it and say good night, and it's going to put the blue light filter on, it's going to put do not disturb on, and it's going to set your alarm, for instance. You can assign whatever actions you want. And I find that really useful. Once again, that Bixby detail video will be coming up very soon. Now finally, let's address the elephant in the room. This is something that lots and lots of you guys have been talking about, and that is the price. Yes, this is a very expensive device. You're looking at around £870 here in the UK or $930 in the US. So what is my opinion on this price? Is it worth it? Well, the way I look at things is, let's take the S8 Plus, for instance, when it released. It was only around £90 less or around $100 less in the US compared to the Note 8's release price. And what are you getting for that extra $100? Well, you're getting the S Pen, you're getting a dual camera setup, you're getting the extra features and the extra RAM, as well as that slightly larger display. Are those things worth it to you? In my opinion, those things are worth the extra $100. But having said that, the S8 Plus has dropped in a lot of places in price. So because of that, my advice to you would be, if you're a fan of the Note series and you want all of the additional features and you can afford it, then this is definitely one of the best smartphones out right now, and I can definitely recommend it. But if you can't spend that much, then the S8 and S8 Plus are still great options. They've dropped slightly in price and they are still some of the best smartphones out right now. So I definitely recommend going for one of those. If you want to see my review of the S8 and S8 Plus, that will be linked in the cards. So guys, that is my review 2 weeks later of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. I obviously really like it and I can definitely recommend it. What do you guys think of the Note 8? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. If you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. There's lots more content, comparisons and everything coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV and I'll see you next time.